As the Russia-Ukraine war enters its third year, a glimmer of hope emerges from an unlikely source. Former US President Donald Trump has taken the audacious step of initiating contact with both Russian President Vladimir Putin and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Trump's goal is clear: to broker a peace deal and bring an end to the bloodshed that has gripped the region. While his approach has been met with skepticism in some quarters, the willingness of both Putin and Zelensky to engage with Trump suggests a potential path towards negotiations. This unexpected turn of events has injected a much-needed dose of optimism into a conflict that has seemed intractable for far too long. Trump's efforts come at a time when the international community has struggled to find common ground on a resolution. Previous attempts at mediation, led by various countries and organizations, have faltered, leaving many to question whether a negotiated settlement is even possible. The deep mistrust between Russia and Ukraine, coupled with the complex geopolitical factors at play, has created seemingly insurmountable obstacles to peace. Yet Trump's direct involvement, coupled with his unconventional style of diplomacy, offers a fresh perspective and a renewed sense of urgency. The former president's decision to host the peace talks in Saudi Arabia is a strategic one. The kingdom, with its strong ties to both Russia and the United States, can provide a neutral and potentially influential platform for dialogue. Moreover, Saudi Arabia's growing regional and global stature could lend significant weight to any agreements reached during the talks. While the road to peace remains long and uncertain, Trump's bold initiative represents a crucial first step towards ending the suffering in Ukraine. The world watches with bated breath, hoping that this unlikely initiative can somehow bridge the divides and bring a swift end to the devastating conflict. The stakes are incredibly high and the outcome remains uncertain. However, the mere fact that dialogue is being considered at such a high level offers a glimmer of hope for a brighter future. While diplomatic efforts offer a glimmer of hope, the brutal reality of the ongoing conflict remains impossible to ignore. The human cost of the war has been catastrophic, with casualty figures painting a grim picture of the conflict's devastating toll. Conservative estimates suggest that over 1 million people have been killed or wounded since the invasion began in February 2022. The true number, however, is likely far higher, as access to reliable information remains limited in certain areas. Ukrainian forces, bolstered by Western support, have managed to slow the Russian advance and even reclaim some territory. However, fierce fighting continues along a sprawling front line that stretches for hundreds of miles. Cities and towns have been reduced to rubble, with millions of Ukrainians displaced from their homes. The humanitarian crisis deepens with each passing day as access to basic necessities like food, water, and medical care becomes increasingly scarce. The conflict has also had a profound impact on Russia. Western sanctions, coupled with the enormous cost of the war effort, have taken a heavy toll on the Russian economy. The Kremlin's narrative of a swift and decisive victory has long since crumbled, replaced by a grinding war of attrition that has exposed vulnerabilities within the Russian military. Despite the immense human suffering, neither side appears willing to back down. Ukraine, determined to defend its sovereignty and territorial integrity, continues to mount a fierce resistance. Russia, meanwhile, seems intent on achieving at least some of its strategic objectives, even as the cost of doing so continues to rise. The West faces a complex dilemma as it grapples with the ongoing war in Ukraine. On the one hand, there is a strong desire to see an end to the bloodshed and a return to peace. On the other hand, there is a deep reluctance to reward Russian aggression or allow Putin to achieve his objectives through military force. This delicate balancing act has defined the West's response to the conflict, shaping everything from sanctions to military aid. The United States, under the leadership of President Biden, has taken a leading role in providing support to Ukraine. Billions of dollars in military equipment, intelligence sharing, and financial assistance have flowed into the country, bolstering Ukraine's defenses and enabling it to withstand the Russian onslaught. However, the Biden administration has also been careful to avoid any actions that could be perceived by Moscow as escalatory, such as implementing a no-fly zone or directly engaging in combat operations. NATO, the Western military alliance, has also played a crucial role in supporting Ukraine. The alliance has significantly increased its military presence in Eastern Europe, deploying troops and equipment to member states bordering Russia as a deterrent against further aggression. NATO has also provided Ukraine with non-lethal assistance such as training and intelligence support. The West's response to the war has been met with a mix of praise and criticism. Some argue that the West has not done enough to support Ukraine, and that more decisive action is needed to deter Russian aggression. Others contend that the West is walking a tightrope, and that any misstep could lead to a wider conflict between NATO and Russia, with potentially catastrophic consequences.